It's been a very long while. A lot has been happening. I think maybe in a few months I'll tell you why for the month of October as a channel we were not that active, but we are happy that we are back. Um, Hopefully with full force. But our dynamics have changed in terms of um, residential area, in terms of the resources that we used to have. So we had a different space. So we'll try to utilize whatever that we have as much as possible. And I decided that maybe today let's look into ways of um, again, we've got ways of making money. We've got ways of making money sustainable in the family. So there are other things that we can do as a family. There's this thing that DJ Zbu is always saying, that you should sell something, whether as an individual or as a family, you should sell something. So, and then the controversy around the fact that we need the land, which is true. Then there's bring back the land expropriation without compensation. So there's a lot of things around land, and it feels to me that somehow we have reset, or we have hit the reset button, more especially as the black people. If you look at things like families, our generation, we are more involved. We are there for our kids. We are there for our partners. Um, a lot of people are woke, are starting to be woke in a spiritual way. Um, People are starting to do things that at first you you would think of them as taboos. And one other thing that I think we need to be aware of, okay, and these things of selling, so we have more self-sustaining families like we used to in the olden days. And I think, or I thought maybe it would be a good idea for me to give you um, I don't know if I would call it tips, but to give you something along having a garden. So my wife and I, we started a garden, I think before or when she was pregnant with our first daughter. Hey, I've got a lot of daughters. Yeah. So she started a garden actually with just putting or dumping tomato peels on the soil. There was not a garden. There was not a garden. It was not a garden. That space was not a garden initially, and then we started watering, and then it eventually became a food garden. So with that, we had a lot of tomatoes. Like we had tomatoes for days. And then when we moved to our place, we then intentionally started a garden. And I can tell you now that for a good 3 months, we had food, or we had tomatoes from the garden. Like for a good 3 months, we were not even buying tomatoes. Um, she would grate them and store them in the fridge, freeze them. But there would always be tomato. She would make sauces. So we had tomatoes. And I thought that if we had bigger land, maybe we would plant a lot more things, because we had tomatoes, we had chilies, a lot of it. She even made salads with a chili sauce with the chilies that we had from our land. And I'm talking about a yard in Orange Farm. If you know Orange Farm, you would know that we don't have huge yards, but we have enough space for us that we can use such spaces for a smaller nyana garden. So with that, we had parsley, we had rosemary, we had that spring garlic, we had onion, with onion as well. I remember we used to, on Fridays when I came back early from work, we'd have macaroni and chili, tomato from the garden, and also those spring onions. So it would be a very satisfying meal. The only thing that we would have bought would be macaroni, but most of the veggies, they would be from our garden. Even like I mentioned, we had parsley and rosemary. So for seasoning food, you can also watch um, a playlist that we have on the channel. It's just me and her having conversations and cooking. We're hoping that we'll also, because we are on a new space now, would give you even beautiful content in terms of that. We had things like peppers, There was spinach. We ate spinach for a very long time. So if you have spinach and you have tomato, you have onions, according to me, on a sharp thing. So if you can use your spaces to at least plant those three basic tomato, spinach, and onion. I'm still yet to learn on the seasons on where you can get what, which is rich. Um, and where we are now, we do not have that land. Well, we do, but it's mostly artificial. So this thing of having a space and then you convert the whole entire space into artificial land, maybe it's good because you don't have to deal with the mud. But remember, if you can have that space utilized in a way that you can have food, then it would be very, very, very effective for the family. So it's one of the other things that would save money from the family, because it's that 10 rand that you spend to go buy tomato, and then you're buying 2 packs, which is 20 rand. Imagine for 3 months saving those 10 rands, how much you would have saved, how much you would have put into the family with other things. You could have bought other important ingredients, or ingredients that you normally don't buy, like chutney, like maybe an extra. If you have teenagers, I'm sure you are struggling with mayonnaise in the house, because those people don't play around mayonnaise. So maybe you can have even more for that duration of the year. And then we had also at some point we had fennel. We are still discovering what to do with fennel, but we had a lot of it. We have strawberries. We have, and I'm not just saying this. We actually do have those things from where we were. Even if you go there, you'd still find them. There's mint. um what else we had? We had also barking this thing, the red one, bedroot. So bedroot, if you know, bedroot, you can eat it from the top and from the bottom. So the top is the spinach, or it's the spinach, and then underneath is the bedroot. So you can have that as your relish. You can have spinach in the house. You can cook it in different ways. Sometimes you can just have pap and spinach. Sometimes you can have your meat and spinach. Imagine we also build a smaller nyana braai there, braai place. So imagine if you sitting with your friends and you telling them that, guys, the spinach that we are having today, it's from that garden. So it would be very nice to also preach to your friends, to your family members, to those that are around you, that, guys, let's have this. I think it's very important from my side. I think it's very important. And if you go on YouTube and you also go on TikTok, and then you just Google on what to plant for the month of October, there would be videos available in November. You can literally plant each and every month, and that means each and every month you would have more of a certain veg. So I think it's very important for us to consider having those gardens. We are now even thinking of planting tomatoes. At the previous place where we used to stay, we had potatoes, actually. We even had those, what do you call them, cocktail uh, tomatoes growing outside our yard. The way we had so much, like when we would irrigate, some of the seed would be washed off to the outside of the yard, and then we'd have a lot of tomatoes there. So yeah, onion, tomato, spinach, chilies, peppers. I think those are the 5 foods that I would advise you to have in your household, because I think the chilies is a tree. It will always be there. Even peppers, I believe somehow it's a tree. It will always be there. Tomato, but I'm telling you, each and every time after cooking, or after you've grate your tomato, just throw the peel in the soil. It will grow on itself. Just make sure you give it enough water. The herbs that I feel like it's important for you to have: parsley, it's seasonal. Rosemary, it's a tree, and it's nice. Some people, if you like your alcohol, you can even have your rosemary on, I don't know what. Mint, it will always be there, and it will be so much that it annoys you at some point. Strawberry, it also doesn't die according to my knowledge. And spring garlic. So if you can have those 10. You don't need a very huge space. Sometimes you can even use uh, um, old tires as your base. If you are having artificial, just hoe in some soil, fertilize the soil, and then start planting. I think it will be very efficient for you. But from me to you, I say, let's try to use the little space that we have in our household to have a food garden. You will be very thankful for that, because as soon as you take care of it, eventually it will take care of you. Yeah, thank you so much.